it's so important that whatever you think you can carry, whatever burden you think that you can bear it alone, it's so important to understand that you cannot bear that burden alone. You know, kuna time inafikanga unafeel kitu it's weighing so heavily in your heart. So sometimes you just have to get to that point and you give it to God. There's a word that says cast your burdens unto God. Okay, kama uliendanga Sunday school, you heard that song, cast your burdens unto Jesus for he cares for you. So it's important for you to get to that point where ukifeel kitu umeibeba sana for long, ama maybe you've been praying for it for a long time, and this is something I heard my pastor say. Imagine just get to a point where you just cast it, yani you just give it to God na mwambia hii sasa mimi nimemalizana nayo, I will not probably pray about it again, this one I have given it to you. Umempea, so umeacha kucarry your burden. Okay, and that is backed up by the word that cast your burden to God, because he will sustain you and because he cares about you. Okay, so it's important for you to get to that point and you understand that this life is not your own. Si wewe unakwanga control probably what happens in your life. Yes, to a certain extent, probably the choices you make zina make sense that when do you make your choice. Okay, but also sometimes you need to know that there's a word that says that for as many that are led by the Spirit of God are the children of God. So sometimes you have to accept that there's always going to be that leading in your heart, especially kama umefika point enye acknowledge God in your life and the presence of God in your life. You will get to a certain point where you will find yourself either going to directions where you feel it's more of a leading. Kitu ilikuambia tu, just go to that direction, ama just go with this direction. Why? Because at that point, it's the Spirit of God leading you, alright? So, you need to understand that in this life, there comes many burdens. Kuna burdens mingi. But you see, you are not meant to carry all those burdens. Kuna vitu zingine unaweza handle, there are things you even handle without praying about it. Unajipata by the way, uliweza kufanya hiyo kitu na ikaisha. But there are burdens that come and you really feel enye hii kitu by the way, I don't feel I can do it alone. And sometimes you just want to leave it and you don't want to carry that burden anymore. The word says that, you know, and Christ is saying that my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Alright? So where burden unafaa kucarry is the burden of Christ, is the yoke of Christ. That's the only yoke that should be in your life. It's not the yoke of the world, it's not the yoke of kazi yako ama nini. No, it should be the yoke of Christ that is upon your life. Meaning that for you, in anything of your life, you're just looking to God, you're just looking to Jesus, you're just looking, you know, there's a word that says, I look to the hills, where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. So you just have to be at that point where you always look to God for everything in your life, and especially zile vitu zenye zina kukosesha peace na zinaanza kukaa ni kama they are a burden in your life and you can't carry them anymore.